Okay, here's a little video about the most versatile boat that I own, which I think is one of the most versatile kinds of small craft you can actually build. This is a Redbird canoe that's 18 feet long, has a beam of 5 feet, and you can see has been modified with a couple of transverse decks. These are filled, they're boxed in with foam and provide extra flotation, and so this boat is not unsinkable, but it certainly wouldn't, well, it is unsinkable. It would float level if you swamped it, so it's never going to go to the bottom without you. What I like about this boat is it only weighs about 200 pounds and is easily driven with a small outboard. It's got a Suzuki 6-horse on it now, which is all you need, because you might have noticed in the rear view that it's got a wine glass transom and not a flat run aft, so that means that it's not a placement hull. A planing hull, it's a displacement hull. And you don't need much more power than that to get it up to hull speed. Let me see if I can show some of the other features on the interior of this boat. Just this year, I ordered from the West Coast a beautiful pair of spoon oars made of Sitka spruce, and from them I also ordered an oar leather kit, which you can see is installed there. The oar locks are port and starboard. You row from this seat, obviously. We just have the one rowing station. And the nice thing about the oars is they stash nicely in a pair of, well, I've got them covered up here, but I have a couple of hooks that retain them there, and just some eyelets and very small shell cords, and that holds them nicely. And I've also, just to get them out of the way, I've just installed a little extension on the seat risers so I can stow the oar locks off the gunnels when I'm not rowing or trailering, and they don't get in the way of fishing rods, and they're less likely to fall overboard. As you can see, there are pins in the bottom so that even when they're in the oar locks, we're not likely to lose them. The gas tank for the outboard, I just relocated here under the center seat. It was aft of that. I actually had it back there beside the battery in a set of chocks, but that does two bad things. It restricts the room. As you can see, the aft cockpit where the driver sits is not that roomy, and if you can't put stuff like fishing bags down in front of you, it really does get in the way of interior space. Plus, when you're driving the boat alone, the trim of the boat tends to be a little too far aft with that much weight. Now, the battery itself is the size that it is because I very occasionally use it to power an electric trolling motor. More frequently, that is to say, every time I take it out, I do use a fish finder, but the battery is bigger than it needs to be for just that use. So the next thing that's going to happen is I'll take out the other set of chocks in that battery and relocate it up on the port side of underneath the center seat, and then I'll have cleared up all of that space and I think cleaned up the look of the boat as well. Back here I have a little holder for a GPS and a holder for a cold drink, and on this side is the wiring harness for the let me complete that sentence. This is the wiring harness for the depth finder, and over here hidden under the seat we have a 12-volt socket also wired into that battery, which is useful for repowering your cell phone or anything else that you might need to power up on a day out on the water. You can see the boat is light enough to be towed very easily behind really any kind of small vehicle. This is a RAV4 with a V6 and certainly has more power than we need to tow this boat. The great versatility of a small boat like this is you don't need a proper launching, poured concrete launching ramp to launch it. Where we're going today is a creek complex south of Lake Winnipeg. This is Medicine Creek. It drains into a series of creeks, including Netley Creek and Muckles Creek, that together drain into the Red River, and then the Red River, of course, drains into Lake Winnipeg. I'll just go out here, pan up and down the creek a little bit. So that's where we're going to launch, and then we're going to be going downstream, which is that direction, to see if we can't find some pike, perch, and walleye on this. Probably, almost certainly, the last trip of the year today, October the 14th. So we'll pan back around here. There's the boat ready to go, and we'll sign off.